Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Deluxe Hasbro PulseCon 2023 exclusive figure of Detroit Steel. So it comes in this big, thick-ass box, as you can see there. So we actually kind of get this blueprint, digitized look at the Detroit Steel. We get the 3D render there on the side. We get a look on the back, everything that he comes with. Not a whole lot of accessories, to be honest with you. It's really just that flame blast effect and that, like, smoke type effect there. Looking at the box, we get a little bit of a design. Looks like a comic cover, which is pretty cool. I don't think it's replicating an actual comic cover. I'd have to double check. I did look at the issue quickly of the first appearance of Detroit Steel, so I will do a comparison with the Bleeding Edge Iron Man figure. This looks to be the suit from that time in 2010. So we will do that. But this one is a repaint of the Ironmonger figure. There are some differences to it, as in this gun, you know, the Gatling gun, machine gun thing, and then this chainsaw on the left arm. Those are new. And then it's got these fin things in the back. There's a back piece that is different, and then obviously different head sculpt, different neck piece as well. Other than that, it is essentially a repaint. But it's still fairly accurate to the comic. It's not completely accurate, but it's not like too far off where this doesn't make sense. Like, I get it, I see it, but at the same time, yeah, it's not completely accurate. But again, I see it. Like, if you look up images, it's like, oh, that's probably close enough. So in my opinion, it works. You know, you guys let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. But anyway, there's a big ass, you know, Iron Man logo up at the top there. You just see Iron Man. We got the Detroit Steel head up there. Let's get the box out of the way. I actually took it out of the package already because this thing is a beefy boy. It is big. I will do a comparison with the Ironmonger figure so you can closely see, you know, the differences between the Detroit Steel figure and the Ironmonger figure, excuse me, the MCU Ironmonger figure. Because again, there are some differences, but this guy is beefy. He's got a lot of paint apps. You know, we got the star spangled design, so we got some stars on the legs. We got a couple on the chest piece, and then on the arms and things like that, we have some stars, as you can see. So there's all kinds of things going on with this figure, and I like it. I definitely, you know, I'm a completist, so I get every figure at this time. At this point, you know, some figures excite me, some figures don't. This one didn't necessarily excite me. You know, I had seen it first at San Diego Comic-Con during the Hasbro breakfast, where they, you know, did the official reveal of it, and we got to see it, and I was like, you know, I guess it's cool. But then when you have it in the hand, you start looking at it, you start messing with it and playing around with it. You're like, oh, you know what? This is kind of cool. That's kind of the feeling that I have with it right now. And that just kind of popped out of there. But you know, it's nice. It's going to take up a lot of space. I don't know how I'm going to fit it in any kind of in my display in any kind of way. But it is interesting. It seems to have a little bit of a well, I don't have trouble getting it to stand up now. At first, you know, it almost looks like it has to lean forward so it doesn't fall back. So it's just a matter of kind of positioning the feet a certain way, because you can't really hinge it up. Can you hinge it down a little bit? Not really. I mean, there's a hinge there, but it's, you know, it's hard to kind of work around that, you know, trying to get him to stand up. But I guess it's not too much of an issue. I guess, you know, at first, you know, you can see he kind of leans forward a little bit, but not too bad. This is one of the items that unfortunately did not sell out on a first go-round from Hasbro Pulse. You know, I think pretty much everything. The G.I. Joe Classified Strike Team, Crimson Strike Team, was always a pre-order, but everything else is like in stock, and then it sold out, and then it became a pre-order. Unfortunately, Detroit Steel never sold out, so you know, it's clear that a lot of people did not want to pick up this figure. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the down in the comments below. But we're going to go ahead and zoom in for the closer look at the details of the things, because there's some cool stuff going on in here. There is. And then we'll take a look at the articulation. Again, it's going to be very similar to the Ironmonger figure that, you know, came out a year or two or whatever ago that was. But anyway, let's get to it. Okay, so we have these big-ass fins that go in the back. These are, you know, pieces just kind of pop out. They're just keyed in to this top piece, so you can just kind of port them in like so, and you have those big fin pieces there. So, pretty crazy. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Looking at the head sculpt is pretty good. Nice sculpted detail in there. Yellow for the eyes. We got a white star. We got the red, white, and blue everywhere. When I pop the head off, this neck piece is a different piece than the Ironmonger figure. And that's an easy one to explain because it... Wait, is it? You know what? Maybe it's just this neck rim that's different. Let me get the Ironmonger figure. These two behemoth figures, like, it's hard to fit space-wise with the two of them side by side. Oh, okay. You know what it is? The neck piece is the same. So you see this neck piece here? The Detroit Steel figure, this dark gray, is actually just a separate piece that goes over, you know, this piece here. So I was thinking, oh, there's, you know, some of those hidden parts that are going to be different. But nah, not really. So looking at it there, the head doesn't really, like, pop on. It comes off very easily, and it doesn't, like, feel like it pops on, like it's just there, and you know, because it just doesn't fall off easily. But anyway, see these pieces here? This back piece is a new piece that goes on top of the back. So the Ironmonger figure has this, so it looks like, you know, this piece is a separate piece, so you would just pop that out and then glue on this new piece, and that would explain that there. So looking at, you know, the torso, you don't have anything that comes around. You do have these shoulder pieces, but again, that's tied more to the back that the Detroit Steel doesn't have. So these, as you can see, they just kind of flap around there. So that is new. We get stars on there, and it looks pretty good. Looking at the back, again, this whole, like, piece, this red piece right here with the like the exhaust pipes and things, that's all new. We get these hydraulic pumps here, so, you know, as you kind of move around, you can kind of adjust that. It's a ball joint, so you can pop that out if need be. There's a little bit of give to it. You can pull that out there, but nice blue color and red, you know, star there on the shoulder. Here on the right arm, you got this massive machine gun, Gatling gun. It swivels in there, which is cool. You got the ammunition here, and it kind of loops around. So I guess that's just kind of how it was in the package. So you can kind of go like this, and it can kind of hang around there. And that looks pretty good. Again, it just attaches there on the right forearm, whereas on the Ironmonger figure, as you can see, it was a different gun that was attached. So those pieces are separate pieces. So this one, you know, was just popped off and replaced there. But as you can see, the arm itself is the exact same. But we get a nice paintwork in there, and we actually get a star right at that elbow, which is pretty cool. Looking at the torso, there, I like the textured look to it, because it kind of gives it that powder coat look and everything, which is nice. We don't get a clear plastic piece for that center reactor. As you can see, it was a clear plastic on the Ironmonger figure. We get this yellow with white paint. It has the gradient to give it that glow look. Nice stripes here on the front. Looks pretty good. Some white and blue spangled down into the feet. There, we get, you know, more of the hydraulic pumps and things like that going on. The left arm, we get this big-ass chainsaw in there. And it's nice that we kind of see the teeth of the chainsaw. Actually, the blades, you know, has some silver paint in there, which is pretty good. It is a little bit pliable. It may have a little bit of warpness to it, depending on how yours comes out. Mine was nice and straight, which is pretty good. And just like the Ironmonger figure, there was a separate, like, little rocket launcher piece type thing here. So, you know, they just swapped out, you know, this piece here for this big-ass chainsaw. And, you know, that, of course, is accurate to the comics and everything there. The hands are new, because the Ironmonger figure had fists. So we had fists there, but we get these different-looking hands here for the Detroit Steel. And there is a hinge on there, which is pretty good. 3 fingers and a thumb. Same thing on the other side. We just get these open hands as opposed to fists or anything like that. But yeah, there is the Detroit Steel figure, looking really good. I like it. So now let's go ahead and check out the articulation. Okay, I gotta be like super far back to be able to do this. The head, there's limited movement in the head. Getting him to look up is a little bit, but any more than that, you're pulling that head sculpt right off. Looking down, that is actually pretty easy to do. There is some pivot in there. You can look to the side somewhat, so just a heads up on that. The shoulder, you can get to go up and out quite a lot there. You get a full rotation in that shoulder as well. But then I forgot about the hydraulic pump, right? So that just pulls it right on out, and then you can just kind of position this again to where it gets in there. It's soft rubber, so it can move around nice and easy. So just be aware of that. We got that upper bicep swivel on the arm. Single joint at the elbow, so you can get that much bend there. So you get straight out, hyperextend even a little bit, and then that much bend. So almost 90 degrees. Wrist swivel, and we do have a hinge on there, as you can see. We got a ball joint waist. There's no torso articulation, right? So tilt and pivot to the left that much, to the right that much. Going back is not really. Coming forward, though, there is a little bit, as you could see there. You could kind of shift forward. So that's straight up, and that's forward. But the back, very, very little, almost, you know, not really existent in there. You got swivel at that ball joint waist. Legs don't go any further out than that. So that's kind of the standard position. Can't really position them going out anywhere. You can kick forward pretty high, as you can see there. The leg does go back quite a bit. You do have a upper thigh cut in there because it's kind of the way it's in the leg. You do have that swivel there. You get a single jointed knee, which gives you almost 90-degree bend with that knee, which is pretty good. The ankles are a little bit funky. So as you can see, kind of the feet, how they are. So you can hinge down quite a bit. But hinge up is really not going to happen, as it just doesn't allow for any motion in there. The foot is a little bit soft, and as you can see, you can kind of bend it around in there. There is pivot at that ankle as well, so that is pretty good. And you have peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So is a big man, is a big dude, big machine, right? Big suit of armor. But, you know, he's definitely got some movement to him. You just got to have the space and everything to really work with him, but we have that there. Now, one thing with the gun is we do have the effect piece, so this is the only accessory that he comes with, because again, the chainsaw and the gun are permanently attached to the arms. You're not really going to remove them unless you pop the glue, then, you know, I guess you could have it, but it's just the blast effect piece, and then you can have like the smoke effect, which is orange. I don't know why it's not a smoky color. So you can have that coming out of any one of the 6 barrels on the gun. So you could do that. And then the cool thing is it has the peg hole in front, so you can actually put that blast effect directly, you know, over it, so you can have it smoking at the same time, or you could just put the blast effect in one of those barrels like so. Okay, so here is the full side-by-side so you can see. Again, it's almost entirely the same. It's just swapped out pieces on the arms and then a swapped out piece on the back. So everything extra that you see on top of here for Detroit steel, it's because that's a separate piece that's glued on top, whereas this one had the hydraulics with the shoulder pads. If you remove that, and then you have that on there. I think it was a pretty good, you know, reuse there. You know, they weren't ever going to be able to use this Ironmonger figure for anything else. I'm sure at some point they said, hey, you know, if we do this, we could probably use it for a Detroit steel in the future. So whoever had that idea, I think it worked out pretty good. Yes, it's just a repaint, sure. But again, if you look at images of the Detroit steel, I think it's close enough. It's not completely accurate, of course it's not. But I think it does represent the Detroit steel look, and it's from the comics. I think it works. Now, I wasn't really aware of the Detroit steel suit at all, except for in the Lego Avengers game, Lego Marvel Avengers, Detroit steel was in there. So that's the only reason why I knew it even existed. So that's why when I had seen it, I was at least already familiar with the fact that Detroit steel was a thing, and that it existed. So there we go. So again, comparison with the Ironmonger figure. Now let's do the comparison with the Bleeding Edge Iron Man figure. Okay, so I'm going to throw this clip in there somewhere in this video so you guys can see it. I'm trying to recreate an image that I had seen on there. So when you look at the two scale-wise, Detroit steel is going to be smaller compared to what that comic art looked, you know, kind of based it on. But, you know, I think I did pretty good here. I think it looks pretty cool. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I think it came out kind of nice. I balanced it. It is balanced completely on its own, as you can see there. So I had some fun with it. So enjoy. Okay, so here we have the side-by-side comparison of the Detroit steel figure and the Bleeding Edge Iron Man figure. As far as size comparison, I think that it is pretty accurate. I had seen one image where it shows like Iron Man like on top of the Detroit steel figure. And if anything, it's pretty close. I don't know if it's going to be exact. The Detroit steel armor could be a little bit bigger actually from the comics, but I think it's pretty close. You know, Hasbro has never been great at scale. never been great at scale. So, you know, technically, I guess it could be undersized, but I think in action figure form works out well with these two side by side. So that is the review of the Detroit Steel figure. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I think it's an interesting figure. It's bright, it's colorful, it pops, it stands out. Not too shabby. So you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of it? Did you pick it up from PulseCon? Because again, you know, all of the stuff really sold out except for the Detroit Steel figure. I thought it was odd that it didn't sell out, but it's still in stock. I'll have a link in the video description below if you want to pick it up. It was $49.99. To be honest with you, I thought it was going to be one of those weird prices like that, $58.99. So the $49.99, I was pleasantly surprised. Is that a lot? You're damn right it's a lot for a figure. Is it worth it? It's going to depend on each and every person. You know, for me, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with my purchase. A lot of people are not going to like that $50 price tag that's on it and may not think it's worth it. So, you know, the value is all in what you think it's going to be. I'm happy with it. You guys let me know what you think of it. If you're happy with it, if you got it, or if you're going to pass, or if you're going to want to wait for one of those Hasbro Pulse sales where, you know, buy so much stuff, spend this much, get this percentage off. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you're interested in helping support the channel, hit that join button and become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.